Welcome back, Last Request Barbecue Show, where we make meals to die for. All right, lots of requests for this one from my friends, and thank you for everyone who's watched the videos and subscribed. Smash that subscribe button, hit the little bell so you get an alert every time I release a new episode, about once a week. So today we're doing some smoked cheese. So I've got together a great amount of different types of cheeses. We're gonna put them on the Yoder, and this is cold smoked cheese. So this is the key. Of course, the key is not to melt the cheese, is to smoke it. The other key is that it's a kind of a subtle process. If if the smoke hangs around too long, it gets very acrid, and that's not good. There's a bunch of different things that you don't want to have happen because it can actually overwhelm with smoke. But we're gonna get into it. We got some great cheeses from my friends Lactalis and cheeseworld.ca. They've sent me to try, and we're gonna smoke them. We're gonna do a few tips and tricks and show you how I smoke them on the Yoder. And we can talk about other ways that you can smoke it, because you don't need a Yoder, but it sure does help. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. All right, we all got all kinds of amazing cheeses here. I'm gonna go through them one by one. Right now, we're gonna start with Balderson truffle cheeses. Check that out, truffle cheese. That's the first one. And then the next is Old Cheddar, Balderson Old Cheddar. That's the second. Then we're gonna go a medium Balderson cheese. Again, a cheddar cheese. Check that out. Then we're gonna go extra old Balderson cheese again. And then we're gonna do this very special, a limited batch, celebrating 140 years of making cheese in Canada. So once again, isn't that great? Isn't that nice packaging? Look for this. By the way, you can get this on Cheese World, and they send it right to your door if you haven't visited Cheese World. Now, you've got to be in the GTA, Greater Toronto Area, or Greater Montreal area. So far, a bit limited in terms of the shipping around the country, but I think they'll get there. And then last but not least, I got this Roquefort cheese, which I thought that would be super interesting. Very creamy. What would that be like smoked? So we're gonna try that. All right, so next step, I'm gonna open all these up, and I'm only gonna cook half of each. I'm not gonna do each full blocks of each, I'm gonna cook half. So let's talk about the process here. The process is, and you can apply this process to whatever barbecue you have. The key is, the absolute key is a flow of smoke. Doesn't matter how you achieve that. If you're on a barbecue and you're smoking and you burp it every now and then, that's okay. The Yoder, of course, has got a fan, double fans that will move the air through. The air motion is what matters most, because once that smoke starts to stay and become static, it becomes very acrid. Now, how are we going to generate cold smoke? I'm not going to turn the Yoder on. You shouldn't turn your barbecue on. So instead, I've got this amazing smoker. That's the brand. It's a smoker tube. So we're going to fill this up with the pellets, and this one expands. It's 1 foot, and it expands out to quite a bit. So we're going to smoke the cheese for about 2.5 hours. So I'm actually going to fill most of this up. And you'll see I'm going to put a starter in it, one of my favorite starters here, and we're going to get the smoke going, and this will be the source of the smoke. We'll put the rest of this on the Yoder, we'll get the fans going, and that'll move it through, and we'll smoke it for 2.5 hours. All right, next up, onto the Yoder. All right, like I said, I'm going to use this amazing smoker, which you can elongate or make shorter. Of course, the longer, the more pellets you got in, so I'm going to fill it up with our pellets, and this is a competition blend, so a little bit of pureness in terms of the pellets. Pellets matter, by the way. All right, so I've set my pellets inside. Now I'm going to put this flamer in. I love these flamers. It's made up of straw and a bit of paraffin. Much, much better than using any kind of, never use any kind of solvent. So we'll start this up, and this is my short form way of getting these pellets going. I'm going to put that in here. I don't want to yet put the cheese in, because really right now the smoke isn't from the pellets. Right now that's from the flamers. We'll leave that for going a little bit. Now check out what I've done with the cheese. I've put the cheese on a rack, and so this way I've got each one of our cheeses elevated so all the smoke could go in it, plus it holds it off the rack. We don't need any burnt bits, even though that adds a bit of flavor in a cook, doesn't really add a bit of flavor in the cheese. All right, let's go ahead and put that on there, on our rack. Perfect. All right, so now our pellets are going. Let's blow this out. Move this over here a little bit in case we get some. There we go, look at that smoke. Perfect, that's what we're looking for. Now we'll just push this in, put our cheese in, cover it up, and let's start up the Yoder. There we go. Check out that. Our cheese has now come off the smoker. You can see some beautiful coloring in the cheese, including the truffle cheese here, the truffle cheddar cheese. It's nice and chilly. Little flake of something there. Get that off the cheddar. All right, so now here's the trick. Don't eat it, because if you eat it now, if you try this cheese now, the smoke flavors are quite powerful now. You need to let this mellow. This is where patience kind of comes in. This is a longish process. So what we do now with these delicious pieces of cheese, cold smoked for 2.5 hours on the Yoder smoker. Again, you can use your barbecue if you got some flow of air or burp it. Burping's a lot of work. But if you can figure that out, that's cool. Now we're going to put it in and vac seal it. I have this Foodsaver Vac Seal. Buy these rolls, and then what you want to do is just seal one end. So we close it up, seal it. Now, while this is happening, you can use, the freezer bags. You got to get all the air out, though. I'm never very good at getting all the air out. You know, this isn't an investment that's huge. You know, you can buy this on deal at Canadian Tire, like $89, $79. You will get used to this all day long. Anyway, so let's open that up. So that is sealed that end. Let's just do one to show you how it works. And so you just put your cheese in here, and this will suck out all of the air. Let's give it a go. There we go. You hear that high-pitched whining, or that high-pitched sound. It means it's getting that last bit, and then this kicks in and seals it. So that's beautiful. That's every bit of air is now out. There we go. That's off. That's ready to go. Let's take a look. Oh, that's beautiful. There you go. Science. Science. There you go. Science. Anyway, let's do the rest of them. We're 7 days later. We're just sitting down to a great charcuterie plate here. So we thought we'd crack open our smoked cheese, which has been in the fridge, again, about 7 days. So the idea is that the more intense aromas and the more intensity of the smoke is kind of mellowed out a bit. But let's give it a try. It's been here in the fridge. Let's first give it a bit of a... it's a very nice, subtle, smoke flavor. This has really worked out well. Let's try one of these older cheese. Actually, let's try one of these different cheeses, completely different cheese, and let's see how the smoke reverberated here. Let's give this a quick open. Very nice. Really mixing in with this, more strong cheese, but that hint of smoke is really good. Let's give it a quick try. And of course, we'll build a nice charcuterie plate. Really nice. The smoke is subtle. It's not overpowering the way I like it. But it's definitely smoky, definitely a smoked cheese. I'm really happy with this. Really happy with the outcome of this. We've got these cheeses. We're gonna have a delicious charcuterie plate. As you'll see, we'll kind of lay it out when the final product's done. We've got some great Ontario wine that we're enjoying with it. Thanks for tuning in, and I highly recommend cold smoked cheese.